Hey there, guys. This is Malorian, and this is another Paintisode. We'll have to see kind of announcement about Paintisodes going forward, but should be a good one. I got a ton of questions. As usual, Whoopi Womp might join me. This might be the time. He was like dedicated, like, I'm totally going to join this time. But I guess he's having like an electrical storm where he is. His internet's like possessed by the devil. I don't know. But looks like he might not make it. So we'll see. It's a random thing. We'll find out. For those who haven't seen a Paintisode before, the whole idea is go grab some of the paint. Just grab some of the paint, and we'll yap about some War Machine. We'll yap about some other stuff. And after about an hour or however long this takes, I'm guessing today will be longer than an hour, you'll be done stuff and I'll be done stuff. And it's all good for everybody. Today what I'm drinking is an interesting concoction. We were out of pop, and which is my normal mix type thing. And I was like, okay, wife, I'm going to run out and we'll get some pop right back. Oh, no, don't go buy stuff. I'm going to do grocery shopping now. Okay, fine, whatever. And so I sat around, getting things ready for the next half an hour. It's like, she never even left. I could have easily gone and come back. So anyway, this drink is going to be orange juice and cinnamon schnapps. So it's a weird, interesting taste. There's way more schnapps than there should be. But yeah, should be fun. Now, as far as painting goes, what I'm going to be working on today, or what I wanted to be working on today, is I got a couple new Mercs. I've been kind of bit by the Merc bug, and I've been wanting to play them a little bit here. And one of the ones I picked up was Ashland. I had the choice of either getting the new one or the old one. The old one has kind of like this odd pose with the sword going out, and either the gun is like off forward in a weird angle or it's behind her. So I put it behind her, but either way, it's a little bit of an odd pose, but it's like $9. The other Ashland, has a banner and it looks all awesome. And whereas these arms break a lot because they're separate pieces, the new Ashland, it has a lot of it's mainly one piece other than like the banner. So it really is a lot more solid, but it's $30. It's 3 times the cost. So I went with this one. I also picked up her favorite Jack, Rocinante, and promptly screwed him up. Whenever you look at the pictures are always like this, right? It's always showing off the gun. And so I got that part done, no problem. Go do the other arm, put the sword going up there. It looks awesome, right? The problem with this is that he has like this extra little armor bit that actually took me a lot to find out where the hell it went. It's like I got the whole mold together and it's like, where does this go? Because all the pictures again show off the gun more than anything. I had to go onto the privateer press page and do like the 360 spin to see that this armor bit is supposed to be actually up more on his hand here. By the way, we got some new lighting here. I have to do some more repositioning, but hopefully they'll let you see some of this stuff better. But yeah, the armor is supposed to be here, but because of the sword, I couldn't get it there. It wouldn't fit in, so I had to put it back farther. So, whatever. He looks different. He looks weird. And it's just awesome, right? I mean, she is already Defense 17, which being an Ecane player, I know is freaking awesome. And then whenever she's around her buddy Rocinante, well, then she's Defense 19. If you ever miss her, she gets to hit you back. She also has admonition, so if it's actually something threatening, she just dodges away. I really can't wait to play this. And honestly, the list I made, all I need to paint to make it 100% painted are these 2 models. So I was really keen to get them painted up today, or at least one of them. However, there is a tournament coming up this weekend out of the basement. Unfortunately, I can't make it, but my brother is going to make it. Now, my brother also made kind of a dumb mistake and left all of his models, and so he needs to borrow them. And I thought this is awesome, right? Why don't you come play some Signar like you've always been talking about? But he's been kind of like all cricks all the time type thing. And so he put together his list. He wanted to see who can borrow from. And one of the things he hasn't gone so far is a Saxon Orc. I have a Saxon Orc, but it's not painted. So guess what we're doing tonight, guys? We're painting up Saxon Orc. Now, I was thinking about some different paint styles from him. I bought him a long time ago because the Epic Magnus tier Bad Seeds if you got this guy here, some sword knights, they come ambushing from the side. So it's pretty fun and cool. But you know, it's really kind of a really janky tier. And when I'm saying something's like too janky, it's got to be really janky. And you know, the model, he's like this weird safari guy. I don't know. I never really liked the look of it. So I never really did it. I just primed him and left him. And I guess today is his day. He has a real weird mix of stuff. He's standing on a troll head, which I'm going to ignore. I'm just going to go and make that like a rock or something. Because I always think it's silly to be having stuff from other armies. You know, it's like, oh yeah, this guy's going and crushing a Menoth Jack, but I'm currently fighting Crix. You know, it's one of those things where sometimes scenic bases go too far. But you look at him, and he has his regular cloth on him. Then he has some sort of chainmail. He also has some sort of weird other armor thing going on. So start off with that. Made him, you know, just did the black first all over, then doing the brown on the front. And then I realized that's the same brown I use for wood. So that should be then what I'm using for the gun as well. So I'm going to have to find a way to paint him up so that that brown won't be too overwhelming. I was also wondering if I should do something for this whole safari theme. And maybe like his cloak on the back, I thought about making like a tiger skin. Oddly enough, that's something I have some experience painting, because back when I did fantasy, one of the things I want to do is have like my African ogres, and the African ogres, their pants were made from like tiger skins. So I actually have a good amount of, I'm not going to say expertise, I'm just going to say experience. I have a good amount of experience painting tiger skin. So I don't know, it might be way too much. It'll be one of these things where you look at it from the front to be like, oh, okay, black cape and then brown. And you turn it around, it's like, tiger, what the hell? So I don't know. That's one of those things you can always leave to the very end and have some fun with it. But he also does have a lot of detail on him. So that'll be a little bit fun to paint. So like I said, we have tons of questions. I posted up on a previous video. I also put it up on the War Machine YouTubers, which you should totally join. We are still around about 80 people. I really am trying to get more people on there. We're currently having a contest on there where all you have to do in April is post up a video. I'm trying to, again, make this a spot where all YouTubers come together, being a real hub to find all the YouTubers. And so I need people to start contributing and putting their work on. So really, if you do that, I'm going to be drawing at the end of the month, and then whoever gets drawn gets to pick one of the faction battle group boxes, and I'll get it sent to them from what's it called, Discount Games. So I'll get your address, send it off to you, Happiness, and this will be the first of 3 contests. Like I said, I'm still celebrating about how this channel is doing a lot better than I thought when I switched over. So there'll be an April contest, and then the 2 months after, there'll be something else coming up too. But that's not even my announcement for today. I still have something else coming, so just wait. All right. So I'm going to switch over and get some questions going. Oh, I can talk about another thing actually first. Another painting show, a much better painting show, Painting with Menal John, had their own contest. And in their contest, you had to submit a fun scenario. Menal John is more about the casual play, and so they wanted people to submit a fun scenario that's good and loose. And I mean, the rules are tight, but it's fun, right? And so I had done these scenarios before in my events called Love Machine and Uncontrolled Fury, where they're ones I made up, and I submitted them, and one of them won. So one of the ones there won was the Love Machine one, where I guess you have to go there and check it out, but I guess you talk about it quick here. The whole idea about Love Machine is that you have 2 casters that fall in love, and then this one here, it's Valentine's Day, and so one is trying to get chocolate and flowers for the other. And so there's 2 flags, each on the center line, each a foot away from the sides. And you need 2 points to win. You get a point by dominating the flag. You can't score on the same flag twice. And the other thing, so basically there's the one caster that needs to go up there and get the flower and the chocolate. And If he is, though, at any time within 12 inches of the other caster, well, then you lose all your control points because he caught you, right? And then all of a sudden it's not a surprise gift. So it's a fun little theme thing. And it turns out Menoth John loved it and it won. So that's awesome. The advanced maneuver guys are going to be playing it on their channel. So that'll be neat to see how it ends up there. It's also Menoth John is putting together a package of these fun scenarios for his Patreons. I'm trying to decide. I want to do a talk, or not so much a rant, but a talk about Patreon. I'm not sure if I should do it here, its own separate video, but either way, all the people that are Patreons of Menoth John will get this package. I'll get them too. So that'll be cool. Plus, we're going to try and find out if there's some time that I can go on the Painting with Menoth John show, and that should be tons of fun. So yeah, good news. All right, now we're going to jump across, look at these questions. Got a couple of viewers here. If you guys have any questions, post them up. I do have a lot of questions to go through, but I will get through them all. Which is why, with Whoopi Wump maybe showing up, this could be a longer Paintisode, so we'll see. First one here from John Tailby saying, has anyone ever developed any design your own caster rules? Not really. I'm sure somebody's made it somewhere, but I don't know of any official version. There's ones like, Spell Draft is kind of designing your own caster, but there's nothing where it's like, okay, these things are worth this many points and all this, or it puts together. Do you think PP would ever make it possible to design your own caster to reduce the dependency on special characters? First of all, I think it is possible that they would make this. They already have it for things like right now they had that campaign where you basically get to make your own solo. So each faction starts with a solo, and as he gets experience, he gets new abilities. So you're kind of making your own guy there and having some fun. Now I can see no reason why there can't be a book made by Privateer Press that had this whole big thing talking about the different stats and the different spells and different feats, and let you use those and whatever calculation they have to build a character that in the end tells you how many jack points it is. Of course, certain combinations could be banned or whatever, and bam, there you go. And it can be something really fast and fun. It wouldn't be anything you could use for a tournament, but like as a campaign book or something, that'd be an interesting thing to release. So I could see that. Take a drink. That's the drinking game for now with my lungs, is whenever I cough, you gotta take a drink. All right. However, the idea of Privateer Press doing this to reduce the dependency on special characters, I don't really see that being their goal. Releasing new characters is part of how they make their money. Of course, everybody buying the characters. Each character then runs different units better. So just like when Radagast comes out, everybody's buying stones and Sentry stones and all the wolds and stuff. I can't see them doing it to take that away. It's a big part of how they make their money. But hey, Privateer Press is a great company that really loves flexibility and supporting the community. So I can see them doing it for a campaign, but who knows? One of the best comparisons I thought of when I saw this question was for 40K. 40K had a vehicle design rule set, and it was kind of crazy, where you got to design your vehicle with the different armor and the different weapons and abilities. And of course, there are ways to break the system, because no matter what type of rules you think you have in place to control it, we're gamers. We'll find a loophole. And so we got some really crazy things built out of that, but it was really neat to have. In general, if you didn't really try to get all the loopholes, you generally made a tank that was about 10% more expensive than it should have been. But hey, that's what happens when you build whatever you want. So it actually was very well designed. It was only when you really found those loopholes you could break it. And yeah, if you could do that with the characters in War Machine, that'd be great. The Gonk, what would your ideal day of gaming be? My ideal day of gaming would just be lots of games. If I could have all my models there so I could be changing up my list as I wish, have, a spot where I can get food really close, where I could get drinks really close, just lots of people having games. It doesn't even really need to be a tournament. Tournaments are nice, but if it was just like a bunch of guys in a room or a hall or whatever, with drinks and all that stuff, and it's like, okay, I'm done my game. Who wants to play? I guess it's really like Iron Arena, right? Iron Arena is basically that's the idea. Whoever's not playing in tournaments goes to Iron Arena and these big cons, and you just play, and you just have fun. And the main thing is that you don't feel stressed. If you want to take an hour off because you want to get some food, go ahead. You don't have to go with any schedule. If you want to get another game, just get another game. There's people around looking for it. And, I could do that all day. I love War Machine. I'm one of these guys where, I could just keep on playing and playing. And whereas the other guys like, oh, let's go home. I was like, come on, one more game. So that would really probably be my ideal game. And then, of course, with drinking, it'd be good if either I had like the wife on standby to pick me up, or if we had a room there, either one of those things. So something that should come close to this is I'll be going to GrotzCon soon. And if you're in Western Canada and you haven't signed up for GrotzCon in Red Deer, do it because it's coming up and it's going to be awesome. Take a drink. The first day on the Friday is going to be a team tournament. Oh, sorry, guys. 1 second. All right, that's better. So there's going to be a team tournament on the Friday. That should be a ton of fun because it's kind of more of a fun event, loose. The group that I'm with is not like we're all like, yeah, we're going to win this. We all agreed. We talked about today. We're like, we're on this to have fun, right? And we're like, oh, yeah, that's what we're doing. So that should be really great. After that, it's just open gaming and drinking and then having lots of fun. So that should be great. And if you're trying to find details on GrotzCon, just Google it. Google Red Deer GrotzCon. You'll find the information. And like I said, if you're in Western Canada, sign up because it's going to be awesome. They're actually looking to try and get over, I think it's 80 people, so that next year they can be an official Iron Gauntlet. That'd be really good. All right, next one here, the Gonk. What is the best wargaming snack? Well, the wargaming snack has to be something that you can keep with you in your bag. It's not going to spoil. It gives you lots of energy. It's also not going to get your hands all dirty because we all know the stereotype of like D&D gamers where you get the Cheetos on your fingers and it's getting all over that stuff. So, I mean, you can get that on your models and cards too. So you want something clean. To me, it would be trail mix, just a bag of trail mix. I can just throw in my gaming bag whenever I need a pick-me-up. I just grab a handful, done, right? No real mess. You're just going on with your game. If there's a couple of little seeds that fall on the board, you just swipe it off, and you just keep on going with your day. And they're not going to spoil. They're good for the whole con, right? So that would be my ideal gaming snack. I should probably be painting while this happens. But one of the things that already stalled me too is just like how I don't like the brown clothes and the brown gun that's going to happen here, I also normally make boots black. And that normally wouldn't be bad, except that if he has black boots on a black cloak, that's also going to look kind of dumb. So I'm wondering if I should make a cloak a different color. I don't know. Why do I have to make this so difficult? Why does my paint scheme have to make this so difficult? It's always one of those things where you have a paint scheme and it works well for so long. And then you find that one model where it just doesn't line up. And that seems to be this guy today. So maybe I'll have to make his boots dark brown. I don't know. We'll have to do something different. But I should definitely be painting while I'm answering questions, but whatever. The Gonk. Have you ever seen the new GW carrying case? Yes, my brother has one. Do you think they'd be good for the larger War Machine models? I'd say yes. It's a really interesting design where it almost goes back to their old case that was like the whole egg carton thing, where you could throw anything in there and it just basically held together anything. Now, if for those who haven't seen the new GW case, basically it's a foam, and instead of being pluck or like little slots where you put stuff in, it's a series of these wavy bit foams. And they're not connected at the bottom, so they're flexible. And so really, if you want to put in a small model or a big model, they just fit in there. Now, of course, there will be a size limit. So, I mean, if you're looking at like the Extreme Carnivian, that's going to be kind of pushing it. But they're also, it's kind of a weird case where instead of just being like layer, 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 it's like, okay, this is a cube and there's one like part that goes in the other, and they're not really that sturdy. So you're kind of like lifting one out of the other. Me and my brother were talking about how probably he'll want to be putting plastic card or something on the bottom of that top layer, so it's a little bit more sturdy when you're taking it up and out. But theoretically, with larger models, you could take that top part out, and then in that cavity there, you could be holding the larger models, such as the Extreme Carnivian and stuff like that. So I think it will work. Is it the best thing out there? It works, right? And this really comes down to transportation and what you want to do and what you want to pay. But honestly, it seems fine. And if it wasn't for the fact that I have like 10 cases already of the old GW ones, I would probably get one, because it's pretty flexible and it's good for anything you want to put into it. Whereas, you know, for a lot of the other stuff over the years, I've cut the foams to cover different sizes. That one, like I said, is just the weird wavy foam that's not connected to the bottom. So you just adjust it however you want without damaging it. So it's really nice to have. All right. I swear I'm going to start painting. I'm just going to make it happen. We're going to paint that rock. Got to start with something easy. I keep on scaring people away. I don't know what I'm doing bad, but I keep on getting viewers and then immediately like losing them. So they must come on here, see it's just Malorian, and then take off. And that actually has something to do with my announcement, which will be coming up here soon. I'm just going to tease you guys about the whole thing. It'll be an hour and a half of me talking about the announcement, and at the very end, I'll be like, next time, you'll get the announcement. Oh, wow, this thing's actually like a severed head, the severed parts of the back. The Saxon Orc guy, he's brutal. Always picking on the trolls, too. I thought he's supposed to be like a beast hunter. No, there's that Pendrake. I don't know. This is like Safari Man. Something go shoot creatures is basically his fluff. All right, let's do another question. From David Williams. What's this one? Wednesday, 35-point outflank list against a P.I. Rusk, Doom Reaver, and Grey Lord Escort min unit of MOM, Demolishers, Kale Baylock, a Manhunter, Beast 09, and a Berserker, Striker 1, Old Rowdy, Stormclad, Journeyman, Ironclad, Stormblade Captain, Gun Mages with UA, main unit mechanics. What say you? So oh, he has another one down here. Is like parts are crossed off. So I think he's telling me these are the two lists. Who do I think won between Striker and P.I. Rusk? With Doom Reavers, I mean, the Doom Reavers are just going to die. So the Doom Reavers are basically a waste. Gun Mages is going to shoot all those guys down like they're nothing. Demolishers, they could be more of a problem. Kale Baylock, he'll start picking off a few guys, but eventually the Gun Mages with UA will get him because they can see the stealth. They'll also get the Manhunter. So you do have to worry about Beast 09, and there is a Berserker, but Berserkers are like, eh. And no, otherwise, you have Old Rowdy, a Stormclad, a Journeyman. So you got like a huge armor skew here, and also an Ironclad. You know what? I would say Striker 1 should have this all day. You know? Yeah, absolutely. Snipe on the gun mages so that they can go for 14-inch crit brutals. They're just, like I said, peeling off that infantry, and then when it comes to dealing with the actual heavies here, you just pop feet and go after them. And I mean, the thing is too, is Striker has disruption on his gun, so he can just shoot one of the jacks and disrupt it. So between those two, if I understand your thing here, David Williams, basically I'm saying Signar, Striker 1 is going to win this. Oh. Just want to see if something was added here. All right, so that's David Williams' question. Terry Slade from the Team Wales, the captain there. He asks, if you could steal one Jack, one unit, and one solo from any other faction for your Signar, what would you choose? Well, Terry, guess what? I'm going to be stealing from your faction for the most of this. One unit, if I could steal one unit from anything, it'd be Bile Thralls. Bile Thralls are so amazing, and I mean, with the way I play, they would just be following my horde of dudes and eventually just purging and killing the everything. Bile Thralls are so good. They're so cheap, and they just kill, right? You don't roll the hit. You basically just say, okay, I'm purging, and tell your opponent to take all their models off. So as long as you can get them there, which a horde covering them will, yeah, they're going to cause lots of issues. You know, I was thinking at first, because I mean, of course, I saw these questions as they came in, so I had a little bit of time to think about them. And so, of course, some of the things like, you know, Bane Knights and Bane Thralls, they'd be nice, but we have our own combat stuff we could be using. So it's not super necessary. So yeah, I would say that's it. It's going to be, the unit will be the Biles. Next part, the solo. Now there's a lot of good solos out there, but such as the Scarlock. However, they're going to be competing with the Squire. And the Squire is a hard one to beat out. So it's got to be a solo that's not a unit attachment that does some damn good things. One of the things that came to mind was the Gallows Grove. You know, a 1-point arc node that can go to forest and can just get prowl. And then, you know, it's an arc node. And it can also go in there and take away tough. So that would be pretty awesome. What else would I want for a Machine Wraith? Could be a fun solo to steal, but that's kind of more janky than good. What else would I want as a solo for my Signar? I really think that's the best one out of all the things that are out there. That's actually going to go with the next one too, which is what Jack do I want? And I may already have really good combat Jacks, really good shooting Jacks. So I'm going to steal one of your Bone Chickens, right? Death Ripper or something like that. Just a 3-point Jack that can run up there with really high defense and is, again, an arc node. With that, it almost makes the solo thing pointless because, I mean, how many arc nodes do you need? But hey, a 1-point arc node is pretty sweet. It's also taking away tough. Is there any other solo I'd like to steal? You know what? Another unit I could use is I could take Shifting Stones. That'd be fun. Another solo. I can't really think of one that is just like, yeah, I totally want that solo. If only I could get it. There's just nothing that's really... Oh, Orin Midwinter. There you go. There's a guy I'd love to have. He used to be Signar. Then, of course, we kind of ran him out of town. But, yeah, he would be a great solo to have back in Signar. Especially when you got the big horde going. He just follows along and says null magic and shuts you down. That would be pretty great. there you go. Thought that was going to be a lot harder. Jasper W says, I also run Chromac and Baldur 2 as my main circle caster, and I'm really having problems with Legion of Everblight. What caster would you prefer, and with what list? See, Legion of Everblight, who knows what they're running? Are they running Epic Veil? Are they running Saren? Are they running Epic Lilith? Are they running Epic Thagrosh? That they're really, you're saying for a whole faction. Overall, though, when you're having to deal with the assassination potential of Epic Veil and Epic Lilith, I would be siding with Baldur 2, just because of how he's a lot more reliable. You have that rock wall. I'd be running something more like I do there, where you don't run the wolves behind the wall, you run the werewolves, so that their defense is insane. He's hiding right behind, and Baldur's healing him up as he goes, and you just work your way there. That's probably going to be the best one to take. You'll have to realize you're going to take your blows as you're coming in, but I mean, that's what Baldur 2 does. He's just that little brick that keeps on slowly moving up, and eventually you can jump out there and kill stuff. So I think that'd be the best one to go with, not knowing exactly what the Legion casters are. Next one here, Lord 17C says, with the advent of the battle engines for minions, do you think they are legit or just getting closer to it? Well, they're not legit yet. Now, again, for minions, there's the gators and then there's the pigs. The pigs still have a ways to go, but the biggest thing that's missing from these guys is the beasts. We need more beasts for minions and pigs, especially a reach beast, and that's the number one thing that's missing. We have a few units. Another unit would be nice, but you know, if I got the choice of either a new unit or a new beast, it's going to be a new beast and a heavy every single time. So they are getting closer. It used to be, of course, where minions were a complete joke and they're way behind. Now they've really caught back up, and they just need a few more releases to get there. But unfortunately, you know, whenever you see releases of stuff like battle engines and casters, we need the basics. We need to get more units and heavies. So hopefully they'll pull out more of those. Standard Left says, do you feel that wargaming could be more inclusive to women? Comparing War Machine to Warhammer, the former has a lot more interesting female casters. Or characters. I mean, the thing with wargaming is I feel it is inclusive to females. There's nothing in it that's really against them. In fact, War Machine, I would say, is a lot better for this than Warhammer. In Warhammer, you have a lot more things where if you're the girls, you're the weaker ones, or you're the ones in the tight spandex and stuff like this. Whereas in War Machine, you have the badasses like Ashlyn and stuff like that. So the whole viewpoint is a lot more there, right? You can make the lists are all females with the elves and stuff on the Warhammer side, but for the most part, it's not really there. It's really just a guy and girl thing, right? That whenever, because it's so male dominated, whenever you have a female there, you got guys, especially the younger ones, that are just like drooling and like, you know, gape mouth looking at the female like, oh my God, there's a girl. And it's just the way it is right now. Now, of course, things are starting to change. You're getting a lot more females that are breaking into the hobby. And I mean, from the looks of it too, I mean, this is a thing where it's females have liked this stuff forever. It's not like, oh, girls are in the kitchen, they don't like wargaming. You know, they've always liked the wargaming too. They like playing Nintendo. It's just that there's just boys everywhere. So it's almost like they need like a girls unite and come in and play. But I don't think there's actually anything rules-wise or model-wise that they can really do that's going to draw in the female players, right? We just have to be, as males, a little bit more respectful when they do show up. All right. Jasper W says, how do you prefer to use Primal Animus from the Gorax? Do you use it on a beast charge, it in, and expect it to die next turn, but does enough damage to make it worth losing the beast? Or try to keep it alive for 2 something turns so you can use it again after it does frenzy? Well, that really depends on the caster. For something like Chromac, when I put Primal onto a beast, I'm dedicating and I'm going in. You know, if I can destroy a heavy without Primal, I won't use Primal. But when I figure that for the math to work and to be safe, I need Primal, and this is a target I need to take down, like a Colossal, yeah, Primal's going on. Because I might Frenzy next turn, but if your Colossal's taken out, that's really what I need to happen. So it's not even so much where I feel like I'm sending it out to die, but it's sending out to get a purpose done. And I mean, clearly I can't be saying like, oh, you Gedrix, I'm going to Primal you and send you out there to kill the Lord of Feasts or whatever, Anastasia, and then all of a sudden they kill my heavy, and then attrition-wise, I'm way down. So you do have to kind of really watch for that attrition doesn't turn it back against you. But then again, sometimes when you do have that good trade, you go for it and you say, okay, this guy's primaled, he's going out. And the nice thing about this is for fury management, if you can send this guy out and know you don't care how much fury he has, he can go crazy and kill as much as he can, and then you don't need to pull it off because you know he's going to frenzy anyway. You can if you need to, but that's where I'm getting at. And then next turn, either they'll kill him or he'll survive, and hooray. But you really have to be careful that primal will not waste it. Now, the time where that is actually different is when I'm running with Epic Kaya. Epic Kaya, I run her with multiple heavies, like 4 heavies at least, and I also run it with some Feral Geist, 1 or 2. And so that allows me to go out there, get my alpha, and then with the feet, come back. And what I do is I put those primal beasts right by the Feral Geist, so that when they frenzy, they just hit the Feral Geist, they're back and safe. And so let's say if I have 4 beasts, I might primal 2 of them to really take out the hard targets that I really need dead. They come back, and it's not like my opponent can just rush me because I still have the other heavies. So it works out really well. Now that I'm saying that, it's making me miss running my Epic Kaya list, but it definitely is a different way of doing primal. Overall, though, is this primal is an awesome spell. Just be very careful that you're not just using it all the time. Okay, Shimmer Gloom 74 says, big announcement, you returning to Orcs, your true love? Well, let's talk about this now. So, no, I am not returning to Orcs. Not yet. I'm still waiting to see what 9th looks like. But one of the things I've really found these Paintisodes that has been really the missing part of these is the fact that I don't have anybody else here. It's just me, just talking, and especially when I don't have a lot of questions, I know that you just get tired of my voice, and even though hopefully that you're painting right now while you're just kind of listening to me like white noise, it'd be a lot more interesting if it was interesting, and you get that interaction when there's more than one person. And so in the beginning, I'd like to try and get guests over, and I was going to try running all this stuff and getting people to join me, but people just really aren't interested in joining Paintisodes. And so I had the idea that, well, what if I did a different type of show? And with this, I was really, really hoping my brother could join me. Me and my brother naturally have a great rapport. We have lots of fun. But my brother is a little bit of a closet gamer and doesn't really want to be seen on video talking about nerd stuff. So, take a drink. The big announcement, pause for dramatic effect, is that I'm going to be doing a new show. And basically, the Paintisodes will be transitioning into this new show. Now, the working title is Jank Tank, and what I wanted to be is a fun thing where we talk about what you've been working on, what you've been having trouble with. And I really want to push this jank thing because that's what I really love is making these jank lists. And then we can cover other things like tournaments and stuff here too. But I really need to have somebody on there all the time. I want to have another person. And the person I asked that said yes, and this is going to be awesome, is Tin Man XL. So he's from his, the Steam TV thing, and he's been doing War Machine for a long time. He's a press ganger. He used to do the Dice Rage Live with Marth and Sputnik and all that stuff, and Lee. And so the other three guys, they had some problems getting all the timings to work. So the Dice Rage Live kind of stopped. Meanwhile, the other three were able to get together, and they're doing the Murder of Crows show, which kind of leaves Tin Man XL on his own. So I said, hey, let's go and get together and do this jank tank. So everything's not put in stone yet. But this Thursday, we're going to be working it out, all the details or ideas, how we want to run the show. And then from now on, after that, instead of having the Paintisodes every Monday or Tuesday at this time, it'll now be on Thursday, and it'll be me and Tin Man. And I think this will be a much better show. I know there's some people out there that really like the Paintisodes, but I think being honest and trying to do the self-analysis, it would be a lot better if there was that interaction. It is nice when I'm interacting with you and answering your questions, but it just gets a lot more interesting when I'm talking with somebody else, and then all of a sudden, if I need to go blow my nose, it's not just silence. So that should be great. Tin Man is a great, hilarious guy, and I'm really thinking this will be a lot of fun, and we'll just see how it goes. So, like I said, expect this to be coming up. I want to call it Jank Tank, and I have these ideas, but who knows what he wants to throw in there too. So either way, that should be lots of fun, and there's the big announcement. As far as fantasy goes, I think I heard that pre-orders were rumored to come out in the next month for 9th, so we'll see if that's true. All right, another question. Jasper W., what would your circle counter to all those pesky Signar and other factions support solos? Okay, so if you're, wow, I guess people are just waiting for the announcement. I was jumping up in viewers, do the announcement, and there's all right, we got what we want, we're out. Or maybe it's because I said fantasy. As soon as I say fantasy, nobody cares anymore. So the big thing here is that when you want to kill solos with circle, you can't do your normal thing, right? You can't do your hit and runs and all this stuff because the support solos are further back. Your shifting stones can kind of really get you there to that midline, but the supporting solos are usually in the back line. So how are you going to get there? And really, as a circle player, you have a couple of options, and it's all about which one you want to invest the points into. One of the ones you could do is blood trackers. It doesn't need to be a max unit. You can take a minion of blood trackers, and they can just zip up a flank, and then about turn 3, just start slaughtering all of the support solos. So that's one thing you can do. Another one that I've seen done very well was when Vol SC did a lot of circle. He did lots of the Wolf Riders. I want to call them Wolf Riders, but I'm probably way wrong. I'm going to quickly find out what they're called. Fancy waiting music as I go on to Forward Commander here, which I really wish they would update because they're still missing a lot of things. I always see the donate button at the top, and it's if I just donate, will it update? But I know it probably won't. They're probably just busy doing other things or whatever. Where are they? Did I go into a tier because I'm a retard? No, I'm just normally... Okay, Tharn Wolf Riders. I was always Wolf Riders anyway. I was right from the beginning. So, yeah, Wolf Riders, Vol SC, got a lot of work from them. They can really zip up the flank very quickly, get in there with their Weapon Master, whatever, javelins, and just kill off those solos really quick, be a real menace. And, yeah, either one really works. The real worry, of course, if you go for one or the other, is how much speed do you need, how much return fire you're going to take, and how many points you want to invest into it as well. One of the nice things about some of these units that go after support solos, and there's no reason why they can just go after support solos. They could always be going after other things too. So, after they come in and they kill the choir or they kill Gorman or whatever they're going after, the squire, after this, they can be threatening the caster and all these other things too. So those would be the two main ones I'd be looking at. I'm sure there's other ones too. I think you could take the Totem Hunter as well. He could be another nice one to take. I'm pretty sure you could take him in circle. But yeah, I'd be mainly looking at either the Blood Trackers or the Wolf Riders. So that now finishes all the questions I had on the last video. And we're like 45 minutes in here, and I've painted the goddamn rockin' boots. This is not a good Paintisode for me. Hopefully you guys are getting stuff painted, because I am falling flat. So I'm going to go to the War Machine YouTubers, which you should totally join. And oh, I thought there was actually questions here, but I'm not seeing any. I know there was questions posted somewhere else, but it looks like if you posted those questions somewhere else, I won't be able to find them. Odd. All right. Well, hey, I guess that means I actually get to do some painting then. And we got about 15 minutes, and I'm guessing this will take me more than 15 minutes. I like how I painted one of the boots and then just didn't do the other one. God, idiot. So, yeah, I got more viewers here. If you guys have a question, please post it up. I can always be talking about what you guys want. But otherwise, I'm really looking forward to this jank tank thing. This should be a lot of fun. I really like making janky lists. I think sharing them with Tin Man Excel will be lots of fun. And who knows what else he wants to talk about too, right? All right, so I'm just bringing up the live show now, seeing if you guys actually posted anything that's not updating for me. And it hasn't. So you guys are watching and not saying anything. So that's fine. I'll just paint and talk my own. But so I'm really excited about that. Also, GrotzCon coming up here. So got all my lists made for that. Still going to pack up, though. And it's going to be one of those things where it could be a lot of models that I'm bringing for me for this. Because, I mean, for the team event, I'm running one thing. I was going to be running separate lists for the LCQ and also the Alberta Invitational. But I think in the interest of saving model space, I'm not going to do that. Plus, after I thought I was going to just go for fun for the LCQ, since I'm already qualified anyway, somebody made a good point that, I mean, that's probably a really bad idea because I'm kind of practicing to be lazy instead of practicing to be competitive, and I will not be putting myself in a good spot for the following day. However, I also want to bring other fun things. So in my last battle report, I played with Sloan. I'm trying to try out these other casters that I haven't used very much, and damn dogs are shedding, so it's like these stupid white hairs everywhere. I've lost myself, but I want to be trying her out. I was trying her at first with 3 defenders, and the idea with running her with 3 defenders was that in the tier list you get heavies for a point cheaper. So I kind of started with the tier list, gave up on the tier, went regular, and kept the defenders. And the really nice thing is that on the Facebook page for Signar, I put up my Sloan list. I said, hey, this is my list. I played a game. What do you think? And instead of being what you would think for forums, where they're like, oh, man, just play E. Haley. Why are you doing a Sloan, you idiot? Why didn't you do an E. Kane? I didn't get any of that. I think it went to something like 30-something comments, and nobody brought up that usual, why aren't you playing a better caster type argument? And they all had really good regular things to say. And one of the best ones is, why are you running all these defenders? I mean, clearly for the feat, you want to have a lot of these guys. Oh, Mike Cross, I'll get to you in just a second. But at the same time, she really needs a storm wall. So one of my problems is that they killed my rangers that I was using to block them, and they swarmed my battle group, and then that kind of shut me down. If you have a storm wall, first of all, he can put down the covering fires. Second of all, he still has the 2 big guns. So really, if you look at it, like if I drop 2 defenders and a point somewhere else to get a storm wall, instead of getting basically 6 big guns on my feet shot, I'm still going to get 5. And that's not a big loss, but the storm wall can do a lot for me. So yeah, I think it's a really good change. And I'm also going to add in the storm towers now too. I dropped a unit of rangers to get that point, and the other 4 points will go towards 2 storm towers. And I think it'll be really good. So I can't wait to play more Sloan. So I'll probably be doing that during the open gaming after. And yeah, good times. Mike Kraus saying, or Kraus, how many factions do you play? Currently, I play 5. I play Signar, I play Legion, I play Minions, I play Circle, and I also play Mercenaries. So I'm always tempted to do one more. One that's really tempting me right now is Trollbloods, actually. But I think that's why I'm trying to focus on my Mercs, to stop myself from wanting to get another faction. Drake Radio, or Dratch Radio, however it's pronounced. Hey, Malorian, since you have a good handle on the Alberta metagame, what do you think are the top lists to watch out for at GrotzCon? Top lists to watch out for at GrotzCon will be, I mean, Bradigus is the first thing you'll say, because Bradigus is just a problem everywhere, and there'll be some really good Circle players that are playing him. So that'll be the first thing to watch out for. In our meta, we have had an explosion of Crix, and the Crix is really there to counter Bradigus. So a lot of people, in order to stop Bradigus, has jumped on a Crix train, and that means there's Crix everywhere. Now, luckily for me playing Signar, I cannot already counter Crix, but I mean, for your regular Joe, you want to make sure that you're ready for Gatsby 3 and for Scar and for Denny 2 and for even Gorshade, like 1. He's even out there now all of a sudden. So that's another big thing to watch out for. Legion is also big here. So there's a few people that run Loth too, so you got to really watch out for that. And as well for the Kador, you have to watch out for the Ocean's 11 and also the, what's it called? Ocean's 11 and also the Butcher 2 tier with all the Doom Reaver spam. There's a lot of those guys too. The Calandra list, the Elemental Communion, that one has also really come up too. But again, for me, it doesn't seem to be that bad for Signar. I just shoot down those lights. So it goes okay. Take a drink. So cinnamony and so citrusy. It's such a weird combination. Really wish I had some Pepsi. All right. So we're going to try and get back and get some painting done so that at the end of this, I'm not a complete failure. And we're going to do a little bit of this metal. So we're going to grab my darker metal. And again, I'm just going to be yapping. So if you have anything you want me to talk about, post it up. Ooh, that's not the right one. Yeah, Ironbreaker is the darker one. Silly names. I really wish they just still call them Bolt Gun. But I had that rant last time. So one of the things I said that I could rant about this time or do it in its own separate video is Patreon. Now, Patreon is, and I hope I didn't make this rant last time. So if I did, sorry. But Patreon, now I say it, I'm pretty sure I did. Anyway, Patreon is one of these things where you basically use it to sign up subscribers, and then they pay you on whatever rate they work out. So it's like $1 a video or whatever. And then it's kind of like a thing where you only pay it if the person does the work. And so there's a lot of people that are actually, sorry, this is hot. I got the new lights here, and they're good light. I got to get some of the dimmers on them so that I can actually have them more up. Well, they're heating me up and making me sweat. But anyway, they're a good way to help support people. I really wish this would have come up before, so that when I was trying to do my Malorian daily, where I was going to be doing a battle report a day, that could have made it work. You know, the way that I had it before, I was going to have to make up my own website and do all these different things. But man, if Patreon existed back then, it would have been way easier. So it really is too bad. For those who are wondering, I don't have any plans to do Patreon for this channel. I still have to build it up. I don't really have the name that I used to. Plus, I don't really need the funds anyway, to be honest. If I was wanting to go out to more tournaments and, you know, was going to try and get more money for that, maybe I could do this. But honestly, I'm not that bad off. I have a hobby budget, and I don't really need the Patreon thing. But it's neat to see how, I mean, other people can use it. I especially support it for the people who put out really great work. So guys like the Podfather there, Menoth John, or if we're talking about Lee and the Bleep Up Productions, like these are guys that put in a lot of work into their videos, and it's unpaid work, right? It's stuff where to do all the editing in the videos, like say for the Bleep Up Productions, it is hours and hours of work. And sure, YouTube pays you like $2 for that video, but it really isn't worth your time at about $1 an hour for your work. So currently, I'm not a Patreon of anybody else. Maybe I should be, but I don't know. All of a sudden, if I was paying all my money to other people, then I have to set up my own Patreon and blah, 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 blah. I've been tempted sometimes for the shows that I want to keep going. It is good to see that there's a lot more channels starting. In the beginning there, I was kind of worried because I was seeing more YouTube channels stop than start, but now it seems like it's going the other way and we're seeing new ones start again. So that's awesome. Glad to see that. One of the things I'm noticing myself is that the battle reports that are based off of a video where I'm narrating are the ones that are a lot more popular. So maybe I have to find my own way of setting up the video instead of taking the pictures, even at tournaments. I mean, I have the tripod, I have the camcorder. It'd really mean trying to invest just in a better battery so it could last for the day, or a series of batteries, and then just trying to work out the actual physics of it, of where am I going to put the stand and all this, making sure that my opponents are actually okay with me filming. I don't know. It's just one of those things where I keep on wondering what I should do to try and bring this channel to the next level, or if it's good enough. You know, if you guys are happy and I'm happy, I really need to go to that extra expense. I like to see this channel. I mean, this channel is basically like the McDonald's of channels. You know, it's fast and it's cheap, but it's there. You know, when you just want a video to listen to and you don't care about the quality, you want something fast and cheap, you come to Malorian. He'll hook you up. Well, that's not really a good promotion for the channel, but it really is true, right? I mean, compared to what some of the other guys do, I don't really take it that final extra mile. If I would have got, I mean, if I could somehow convince people like my brother to take more of an interest in this online part, then all of a sudden I could be making the better videos, because you really need to do that stuff as a team. But like I said, just no interest. Oh, this guy actually has like a metal plate on his chest. Just realizing this now. Pretty sure it is. Either that or it's a really flat coat with really oddly placed buttons. Huh. I don't think I ever see this metal plate painted on Saxon Orc models. Then again, I don't see Saxon Orc very often, so. So hopefully you guys have more questions for me. This is, again, I mean, this is another thing here too, where I'm just tired, I'm sweaty. It'd be nice that, like, this is the point where I want to pass it off to my co-host. And I'll be like, so, what events do you have coming up? And I can just have them talking while I just get stuff done. Because here, this is a model that I haven't really painted before. I only decided to start painting it about 30 minutes ago, or 30 minutes before I started. And now I'm starting to realize all the detail on it. He's coming together. You can kind of start seeing how he's there. Lots of work still to be done. Lots and lots of work. Definitely not going to get it done in this Paintisode, I don't think. See, we're already at the hour. Do I want to go to like 2 hours in order to get this guy done? That's one of the problems with asking the questions too, is that I don't actually get my own work done. It used to be fine because I get in like 3 questions and I'd be done that in 5-10 minutes, and then I spend all the rest of the time painting. But man, now that I get all these questions, it's making it tough. I'm a victim of my own success. So one of the things that also opened up for another chance to go to the WTC is, I guess currently they have an odd number of teams at the WTC. And so that means that they are going to bring back their Team United Nations. And really what that means is, hey, do you live on the Earth? Apply now and you can make Team United Nations. And so I had a lot of people who knew my quest to make it on to Team Canada being like, oh, wow, Malorian, you should totally check this out. But the problem with this is that it's just not the same. First of all, I wouldn't be going there with my Canadian buddies. I'd be with 4 random strangers, making it. I mean, who knows what language they even speak, right? I mean, the whole idea of getting together before and trying to figure out who's going to play what faction and what casters. If there's me from Canada, a guy from China, a guy from Russia, a guy from Africa, who knows where, that communication is going to be a huge issue. And I mean, the other part of it too is the expense, and that's double fold. One, when I was going to be part of Team Canada, we do Team USA and all the rest of them do fundraising to kind of help with those costs, because it's not cheap to go to these places. So if I go to Team UN, I'm not getting any fundraising help to make this happen. As well, the money that I had planned to put towards this, I've now put towards other things, right? When I didn't make Team Canada, those finances were reallocated, and they're not available anymore for this. So as interesting as it would be, and as nice it was to have people think of me and message me and tag me on these things saying that I should apply and all this stuff, it's just not really going to work out. So unfortunate. Still looking till next year to hopefully make it on the team. So otherwise, I'm not seeing any more questions. Technically, if I know if my brother, for painting his own stuff for what he does have, he's like good enough. Technically, this is good enough. He could take this to a tournament, it'll be just fine. It's 3 colors. The main things are painted. I'm going to finish this off, but it's getting pretty hot. I'm starting to sweat. This drink is disgusting. I don't think I'm going to call it here. So like I said, thanks for watching. Please let me know what you're painting. And this, depending, could be the last Paintisode for a bit. Just to kind of finish that announcement. So like I said, this Thursday, I'm going to be talking to the Tin Man to try and work out the details. Past that, then, assuming that we can start right away, the following Thursday, it'll be a little bit earlier here too. I believe it'll be working out to 8 o'clock my time. So an hour earlier than this one started on the Thursday. It'll be when we do this jank tank or whatever we call it. And Paintisode will still happen, but they'll be sporadic. There'll be something more like if it's a weekend and the wife is busy, I'm painting down in my basement, I'll just randomly do a Paintisode. So it will no longer be a planned thing. The planned weekly show will now be the Jank Tank or whatever we call it. And the Paintisodes, they'll still happen, but they'll be, again, intermittent and a little bit random. And yeah, maybe now I can be spending my time watching you guys and your shows and get my own painting done. So at the end here, like I said, that's all we got for Saxon Oric. Kind of sad. No tiger back. Maybe comment that. Let me know. Do you want the tiger back? Should I make him have a tiger cape? Now that I'm starting to get more colors on him, I think it'd be actually okay. Black makes him look like sleek and cool, but a tiger cloaks are cool. It's also kind of weird too because he has like this turban thing going on as well too. And so is that supposed to be like part of the cloak? Am I going to make like a tiger turban? That'd be a little bit too crazy. But either way, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later. Bye, guys.